So we've now had several snapshots for Minecraft's 2026 summer drop, Chaos Cubed, and it's clear that this drop will focus only on the new cave biome, the Sulfur Caves, and the associated features coming with it. And I'll come back to all these features in a moment, but first, there's something else we need to talk about. To be honest, I'm not one of those people who looks at each new Minecraft update and complains that it feels like a mod. I thought the Nether update, the Warden, the Trial Chambers, even the Spear just fit fine into Minecraft from the start. Minecraft designers seem to typically know what fits into the game organically, and they're usually able to make new features match Minecraft's existing style quite well. However, last year, Mojang decided to introduce the Happy Ghast, and it just seemed off. I mean, sure, yeah, okay, whatever, it's a rideable mob, and we already had ghasts in the game, but the combination of it being a 4-seater mob that can move freely in all three directions, while also becoming a large solid block when you stand on it, in my case, maybe, when you stand on it, like this. It's also much bigger than a regular block, too. The ghastling is more the appropriate size. Plus the big specialty harness item, which is different from the saddles that every other rideable mob in the game uses. All these aspects combined just made the Happy Ghast seem weird. It seemed like a mismatch with the rest of vanilla Minecraft, like a mod. All the design decisions make sense. It was designed primarily for multiplayer experiences, so you and your friends can fly about and take the world tour together. And nearly a year on, I'm used to seeing it, but still, it doesn't really fit. And I doubt so many people use it for its primary purpose, because, it's so darn slow. Instead, the Happy Ghast is mostly used because it makes building in the sky much easier. Now you can just stand on it and place blocks wherever, and fly around in 3 dimensions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Just like creative mode. It's a very slow creative mode. So the Happy Ghast pretty much eliminated the fundamental limitations of building in survival mode for the sake of cool multiplayer experiences. Now, I'm not complaining about this, okay? Sheesh, hold your fireballs for a moment. You'll probably want them later. I'm just pointing this out, and I thought I'd mention it because Minecraft's community has been recently debating about how newer mechanics supersede older ones, with like mending and spear durability and all that stuff, so I figured I'd point this out. But anyways, that's a whole big digression. The point is, in a recent update, Minecraft added a new passive variant of an older mob that behaves differently from anything else in the game and is aimed primarily at multiplayer experiences. Okay, fine. Surely that won't happen again, right? Oh. It has happened again, because sulfur cubes, wouldn't you know it, are a passive variant of slimes that spawn in sulfur caves and behave differently from anything else in the game, primarily to enable a new multiplayer experience. Because when you feed them certain blocks, like, say, sulfur... No, he doesn't like sulfur. That's potent sulfur, that's why. Sulfur, they first of all, they die, which is kind of weird. They absorb the block and become an entity that you can punch around or push like a ball. A big, cubical, bouncy ball that sometimes works, but not seriously well. And the property of that ball matches various real-world balls depending on what block you give to the sulfur cube. You can give it wood, or wool, or ice, or anything like that. The stated goal of this feature is to allow you and your friends to build and play minigames using these cubes. Which, oh look, it actually works. In other words, Mojang's latest addition to Minecraft is sports. And I have to be honest, this is another new Minecraft feature that feels like a not particularly good mod to me. It just seems very ill-fitting for vanilla Minecraft. It's like, the physics are weird, what is that? That doesn't make sense. And it doesn't work super well. I mean, this is working better than it's ever worked for me right now, but most of the time, it doesn't go very far. It's like you need to have a knockback sword to get any kind of motion out of it. So, it's both unnatural and underwhelming, but again, I'm probably doing something wrong, just as always. Like, this one barely moves at all, but that's intentional at least. So, I mean, there have been some pretty interesting transport systems made using the Sulfur Cube already, so that's good. Finding single-player uses for a multiplayer feature is important. But it's clear that Mojang is really trying hard to cater to people playing with their friends, and this has been a trend for some time now. In the past few years, we've seen quite a big push towards that. We had the Trial Chambers in 1.21. Then you had Play with Friends being the name of Minecraft on the App Store. Then you had the Happy Ghast over there. And now this year, we've had parties on Bedrock, and also now sports via the Sulfur Cube. There he goes. Here he comes back. Because this is how a ball behaves in real life, definitely. Clearly, Mojang believes the longevity of Minecraft lies in it being a social, live service, multiplayer type of game, and not a solo game. Probably because the online services require subscriptions, which bring in money, which, Big Daddy Microsoft definitely wants the money. With that in mind, we can also note that the 2 summer drops we've had so far in the new drop system have both focused on adding new multiplayer experiences, or mechanics. First the Happy Ghast, and then this one here with the cubes. 2 drops isn't quite enough to call this a pattern, but if Mojang is indeed following an internal pattern for the yearly drop cycle, it seems likely that we can expect the summer drops moving forward to focus on multiplayer targeted features, including ones that don't fit particularly well with the rest of the game. If that is the case, and the fact that this drop's name is Chaos Cubed, which emphasizes a Sulfur cubed over literally everything else in the update, kind of seems like that is the case. So it kind of seems like the new biome included in this drop really exists just to facilitate a natural means of fitting the sports mechanic into the game. But, you know, the biome is at least worth looking at, right? I need some night vision for this. But at least the biome is receiving plenty of attention in the snapshot so far. I mean, it is our first new cave biome post Caves and Cliffs, so it adds some new blocks, so I would hope it would get some attention. You have like the potent sulfur and the water effects that make you nauseous, and sulfur and cinnabar and the sulfur spikes. It's all very good, all very cool, and a nice change of color from gray, 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 and gray. Those are the main colors in Minecraft caves, are gray. So it's a nice color. But they did add these tough and granite blobs into the biomes in a couple of snapshots ago, and I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of these. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of them either. The granite and tough blobs seem unnecessary. I do like the tough shell though. If you look over, where is it? I think it's over here. If you hollow out, you can see the tough kind of forms a shell around the biome. This is like an outer layer, just delineating the regular stone or deep slate from the actual sulfur biome. And I like this. It's reminiscent of the way geodes look and stuff like that. I don't mind that, but I think inside the biome itself, the blobs are kind of unnecessary. And I'm not too buggered about the ores generating or not in the biome anyways. You can get ores literally anywhere else underground. It doesn't really make sense for ores to generate in a biome that's made of sulfuric materials like this. Maybe you could have one that's special and has a sulfur variant like redstone or something. I don't know. But importantly, sulfur and cinnabar have their corresponding block sets, and that's something we also need to point out. So the new block sets, sulfur and cinnabar, are actually pretty complete right off the bat. Mojang did a good job adding all the variants all at once. The only thing they're really missing is the cracked brick variant or cracked regular variant. I'm assuming it'd be brick for this one. So there's really only one block missing, which they should just add. How hard can it be? My goodness. But, you know, in all the time, I made this video a couple years ago now showing all the block sets and what's missing. And, you know, nothing about this has changed in the past couple of years. They've now added 2 new block sets without fixing, you know, specifically dark prismarine or calcite, any of the older ones. Which is kind of annoying, but it looks like they're not going to get around to that this update. So maybe in a future update. But at least these ones here are nice, and of course a different color from pretty much everything else around here, which again, good, some differentiation. Even if we have red and yellow in other block sets, it's good to have some stone ones as well. Anyway, there's one other new feature I haven't touched on yet, and that's the sulfur springs. They weren't very notable at first, just an above ground structure for locating the biomes, but now they've added geysers to them, which I think are cool, and they're also quite useful. And of course, since they do push entities up like that, you know, if you know my channel, there's one thing I have to do.
Throw hot water on ice.
Yeah, nice one, genius.
Precisely. There should be a geyser nearby.
Sounds good. Start looking for a geyser, everyone.
Anyways, that's pretty much it for this drop at present. I don't think this drop is terrible, honestly. It's certainly a lot more substantial than the last drop was by a considerable margin, just so much more in this one. I'm not sure I like the drop's major multiplayer edition of sports. Again, it feels very weird and doesn't work super well in my opinion. But, you know, it's what it is. Again, just kind of like the Happy Ghast last year, not my favorite, but maybe I'll get used to it. Also, between the sports and people calling this the ketchup and mustard update with the sulfur and cinnabar, at least before they desaturated the colors, this drop feels like it could easily be called the USA update. You got the sports, right? The balls you can hit around. You got the ketchup, as people have said, with the cinnabar. And with the sulfur spikes, I'd say fries. So you have this here. It's my terrible building, okay? We don't question it. You got fries with ketchup in a fry packet. I don't know what it looks like. I'm guessing. I haven't been to a sporting game in ages because I don't care. Yeah, sports are popular all over the world. but it's a rather uniquely American image to have a crowded stadium full of fat people munching on junk food slathered in ketchup while watching some guys punch around a large, slimy cube that was sentient up until they fed it a cubic meter's worth of wood, like this one over here. Yeah, that sounds right. Oh, and even better now, because we have the TNT cube, we have artillery and bombs in Minecraft now. So, they've added another American favorite, war. Then again, I cannot get this to work for the life of me. So you set this off. Okay, it doesn't actually work. See? Push it, set it off. Oh dear, go that way. See, and it's the lamest artillery in the world. Again, I'm probably doing something wrong. But anyways, we already had the railguns from the minecart experiments. Like, you set this off, and it goes flying, and then, set that off like that. Woo! Yeah, exactly. It is fun, but I'm surprised Minecraft would allow it. But since this is an experiment, it's technically not in the game yet. But they're adding the sulfur cubes like that, and those are in the game, and I'm sure people can make them work correctly, and I just can't because I'm stupid. So I'm kind of surprised that they added that, but, hopefully people will be normal about it, and it won't become some massive regret down the line. Anyways, all that said, hopefully the sports mechanic will get better in the upcoming snapshots, but we'll have to see. But that is all just my very long-winded observation. Maybe you see differently. Actually, knowing the Minecraft fanbase and people who watch my channel, you probably do. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this update so far? Do you like the multiplayer content and the multiplayer focus and the sports? Or do you not like it so much? Or are you put off by it? And do you prefer ketchup and fries over ketchup and mustard, or does neither work now? Whatever the case, comment down below, like the video if I didn't offend you, subscribe if you want to be offended again, or something like that, whatever. But above all, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.